Hello everybody, hope you're doing well and welcome back to the channel. We're doing a very special video today. This takes into consideration some requests, especially to look at the best counters for miss, evade and auto block, and as well shout out to everybody that helped out and contributed to the community post which I put up. And this is something that's going to be an ongoing thing where, you know, there's ideas, collection of ideas, we put it together and then we create a video off the back of it. So shout out to everybody, and as well, you know, thanks for the input. And the focus indeed for this particular video is all about the best champions and also explaining the miss mechanic, evade and auto block mechanic, and effective champions, buffs, debuff solutions that can take on and suppress those particular things, because of late those have been things that have happened. Kitty Pryde, for example, if you have a champion that's able to deal with miss, then it can be great against Gwynmaster, as well as a whole smorgasbord of content, especially an endgame where you're like, I need options to take on these champions. Also a full list of the champions being discussed, as well as their rotations and what they take down and what they benefit from. So, you know, Hercules gets True Sense and how in order to get it, and then what that deals with, which would be auto block and miss. All that information is in the description down below. There's a list for you to check out. So let's kick things off with auto block. Now, perfect example of an auto block based champion. So when you hit it, it comes with auto block, and in some cases when doing certain types of interactions, you can find yourself parried, mainly when it comes to arena, and sometimes when you take on a certain path with Gwynmaster. It's fun. But what champions, what things take this on? So first of all, True Sense, Truestrike and True Accuracy are the best three things to take down these particular champions, which an example is indeed Penny Parker. Moleman's a True Accuracy champion that can take down this very easily. Hercules does the same with a True Sense on an SP1 rotation. Corvus Glaive with the Proxima Midnight synergy, just do a heavy attack with Proxima on your side and you're able to get that True Strike buff. Magneto with dealing with #metal champions. Cull Obsidian gets that True Accuracy passive after 5 Thanos Favours. Odin gets a Truestrike off the back of an SP1. Angela's signature ability allows for minus percentages of accuracy to auto block, which allows her, when she's got signature ability with the amount of buffs that she has, to suppress the auto block. Falcon has Locked On, which can massively help in taking down defense ability accuracy. In particular, some of the things we're going to discuss, it covers a lot of bases. Now, when it comes to taking down evade, there's a lot of overlap to things, with Moleman having his True Accuracy as mentioned a moment ago. We've also got Corvus with the Proxima synergy, which delivers that Truestrike. We've also got Falcon, again, being a solid option. Odin with his SP1. We've also got Cull Obsidian with their 5 Thanos Favours, as mentioned a moment ago as well as Karnak, and yeah, a whole host more. But there are some new ones to add in. Champions like Red Guardian, She-Hulk, as well as Spider-Gwen add in a slow debuff. Spider-Gwen and She-Hulk are great rotations because you simply just do a Parry Heavy or time in a heavy attack, and also Red Guardian does his slow debuff off of an SP1. So the effectiveness of suppressing evade can be really there. A lot of champions do possess that slow debuff, like even Sorcerer Supreme. But there are champs that have things inbuilt into their ability, like Aegon, or one of my personal favourites, which is Nick Fury, which also will crop up in a moment, especially with taking down the likes of miss mechanic based champions. Nick Fury is a solid option for great damage potential, but there are so many other champions that are able to help you out. As if you're specifically going up against champions that have evade based mechanics and are Spider-Verse, then a lot of people will opt for using Venom. Also, the champion does present a Truestrike buff, but at the same time the rotations around that aren't as consistent as some of the others on the list. The similar can be said for APOC, where as soon as you're using Apocalypse to then take on certain evade based champions, you will find that you're suppressing evades. Now, it's great if you are looking to stack the champion from start of the quest to the end of the quest, but a lot of the times trying to, I'd say, kind of fight around getting those evade charges, or kind of like suppression of evade charges, do take a lot of work in order to do that. So it's good, but it's definitely not as good as some of the others. Sticking with the mutant theme, and you can go with Professor X. Professor X is great in dealing with miss, which we're going to talk about in a moment, but also has an element of taking on evade based champions, especially with his channeling and that is right here. While at 25 plus channeling charges, Professor X cannot be evaded and gains a vigilance passive, which allows him to take on mist-based champions, but you know, that's something that's important. We'll talk about in a moment. There's also some other options to consider, like Hitmonkey has Assassin's Cunning, which ignores evade. We've also got Karnak's SP1, which, you know, Truestrike, well, Karnak, not a massive fan of that. Shang-Chi has a really long-lasting slow debuff, which you can look to utilize. Elsa Bloodstone, which deals with evade. But there are, again, some more solid options. One particular option, Stealth Suit Spidey, which has some amazing abilities, especially with Web Foam. So you can really, stack the champion when it comes to the Awakened ability, improve those Fury passives, get a real kind of like meaty amount of damage. But as well, there is Web Foam, which is 100% chance to inflict a slow debuff. While the opponent is slowed, Spider-Man cannot miss. So we've got a double whammy right there. The slow debuff working in, but also the element of taking on champions that might have the miss mechanic within their abilities. Now onto the final mechanic, which is taking down miss. Best champions to take down miss, as also same when it comes to the buff. So the first thing is that True Sense and Vigilance are two things to mention. Now from the list, and there are multiples, and we've just mentioned them a moment ago. Professor X after 25 channeling charges, Nick Fury after SP1 and build those tactical charges. Also Hercules with True Sense on SP1. You've got Red Goblin, and then you've got Falcon, but also Cosmic Ghost Rider. Cosmic Ghost Rider, if the Vigilance or if the Judgment is not active, then on the 5th hit of with a medium attack, you get a Vigilance buff, preventing your attacks from missing for 10 seconds. That's helpful, but also dealing with #Metal Champions, which you do have in your kit, that lovely little Magneto. And Magneto, definitely if the champion is magnetized, as it says right here, attacks cannot be auto-blocked or miss. So a nice little double whammy right there. So there are some really kind of decent champions on option to help out take down enemies that have that miss mechanic, the likes of Kitty Pryde, the likes of Ghost, and even taking on the likes of the Gwenmaster, which, hey, you know, she's not #metal, but there are some decent options on offer to help you out there. Now, when it comes to like putting any kind of list, I don't think it's particularly fair to say the top 10, because essentially you're covering different bases. You could even say that things like champions that simply do parry heavy could be decent in taking on all of these things. Ability accuracy reduction in shape and form of Archangel. You know, there are different options up there. Debuff shruggers for anything that's Falcon, doesn't miss. But what we're trying to do is kind of put together the takedown with utilizing things like the True Sense, True Accuracy, Truestrike, and as well slow debuff and other elements of taking those down. So if I could put together any kind of top 10 base list, it definitely would have to go down the route of, right, Moleman, for example, is a great champion, easy to get those true accuracy, major amounts of damage when it comes to especially kind of building up the champion, signature ability high, massive amounts of damage, interaction with things when it comes to like debuffs and stuff like that. It is a great champion. I do need to rank up mine, and I do want to awaken my my mole god, as he's dubbed. Also Falcon. Falcon's a formidable champion that can just take on everything, and I find that I'm using him a lot more. He's my go-to champion for Cavalier difficulty, especially because a lot of the time the miss mechanic, falter mechanic seems to kind of like factor into a lot of other ones as well. Also Angela. So Angela's a bit of a sneaky option, but also it's a very nice option. A high signature version, which when you're building a lot of buffs and find on a route that you may have to go up against something that's kind of like auto block, then you're reducing down the auto block ability, and as well having lots of buffs helps out with that, and just the rotations. Having as well Odin with this champion does mean, again, formidable champion. Just a great option overall, and lots of utility, and that's one of the key things, utility. Nick Fury is definitely going to be on that list of the top 10 because of lots of things. Life model decoy, his kit allows him to deal with so many things with the tactical charges. Bleed damage is insane. So yeah, there's just so much on offer for this champion. You know, 5 charges, 1 SP1, and you're dealing with miss or evade and suppressing it. It's just as tasty as anything. And that's what he does for a team. He does amazing stuff for a team to kind of bring them up and elevate them. We've also got Hercules, and Hercules is easy to rotate and great amount of damage. I don't need to sell anybody on Hercules because he is what he is, and unfortunately I don't have him, so that's kind of boo, sucks to be me, but whatever. We've also got Odin. Odin's a great champion for assisting cosmic-based champions or anything that gains a buff. Having things of easy rotation around the SP1 to get that Truestrike is one of the key reasons that I've put him on this kind of final top 10, because of what he has, what he can do for a team and other things like that. Cosmic Ghost Rider, because of the damage he has, a little bit of utility here and there, but also that easier rotation in order to get the judgments. End with the medium on a 5-hit combo, gets quick to miss and deals with situations, and just does, you know, a lot of damage. I mean, that's just the thing. Lots of buff, lots of damage. And then we're going into the final two. She-Hulk over Spider-Gwen, sadly, but that's only because of damage potential and rotation. And I just feel that she kind of like slightly edges it, especially with interactions. I do actually like and rate her signature ability from an interaction standpoint. I think that's good. Not a huge amount of utility, but still enough, especially when you look at like things like Science. Champion she goes against chance with each hit landed to purify a debuff. That's great. There's lots there that kind of allow She-Hulk to be an asset, and especially having that slow debuff to deal with evade. And then finally, Stealth Suit Spider-Man, which does a double coverage, lots of damage potential, and also it's got the slow debuff, but also deals with champions that have miss, which is a cracking little find I think I missed out on. But yeah, that's been my final top 10. All information about these champions that deal with these particular situations are in the description down below. I appreciate you for supporting, and thank you very much to everybody that was involved with this, and we'll do some more like this in the future. And thank you very much. Request some more stuff on Discord when it comes to videos, and I'll see you in the next one. And make sure as well to check out some other content which is located on screen right now. Cheers everybody. Bye bye for now. Bye bye.